So tomorrow we're going on a 2-day holiday up to the beach with the kids. We're going to be going with my brothers and my parents. It's going to be a big family thing. And I wanted to answer the question, can going on a short holiday with 3 kids be fun? Or is it just actually really stressful? See, the reason I wanted to make this video is because you see a lot of the time on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else, the highlight reels of these holidays with the kids and families and having an amazing time, where the children look perfect, where they're well behaved, where they're doing as their parents are told, and everyone's having a great time. Now, I have nothing against that at all. I think those are great, they're excellent memories, but I wanted to make this video a little bit different. I wanted to show the reality, the behind the scenes of the tantrums, the things that parents actually have to deal with that make those highlight reels all that much more sweeter. And I wanted to share 3 different tips of how we try and make our holidays that little bit less stressful. But ultimately, I wanted to let you in behind the scenes. So this video is going to be really more about the behind the scenes, not just the highlights, that make those highlights that much more rewarding when they actually do come. So it's a little bit of entertainment and a little bit of education, but I hope you enjoy this video. So let's get going. Everyone ready to go? Packed and ready? Alright, cool. Let's get going. Bye. So, since recording that video this morning about my introduction, there's a guy swimming across that whole lake. Back to my story. So since recording the introduction about stressful holidaying with kids and their tantrums that they have, I've been on the lookout to try and record as many tantrums as I could get. The problem is, there haven't been any. Because every time that they've started, I pulled the camera out and they've stopped. This camera thing is really messing with me because maybe they're just putting it on for the camera. But I started to realize a lot of the time they're not the ones that are being bad, if that makes sense. It's my expectations of what I expect them to do. I think it's called perceived bad behavior. Now I'm going to try and explain it as clear as I can without making it boring. So I'm going to use this story. One time Pippa came up to me and she goes, "Hey Dad." I said, "What?" She goes, "You're a f***ing fart." I said, "What?" She said, "You're a f***ing fart." I said, "Honey, that's a little bit rude." She goes, "Oh, okay. Hey Dad." I said, "What?" She said, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" She said, "You're a f***." See, the whole thing in her idea, the rude part, was the fart. To her little brain, she didn't understand any better. So when she removed the rude part, the fart, the rest of it seemed to be okay. And I think I have to remember as a parent that the things that I know and I perceive as being bad behavior, kids don't necessarily think in that same way. They don't have that logic or intelligence yet, which sounds a little bit common sense, but it only really made me realize this morning that when I stopped trying to make them do something to my expectation level, just to try and catch them on camera throwing a tantrum, they actually weren't throwing tantrums. A lot of the time it was just me creating fights. So that's my first tip. I think the problem's with me, not my kids.
Pippa hurt my feelings first place. You told me.
Okay, so we need to calm down. Come with me.
You said you told me.
And so I think the first work has to begin with me, not fixing my kids.
2, 3,
I have to fix me. So it's like 7 o'clock in the morning on day 2 and something really strange has been happening. The kids' tantrums are so short that by the time I get my phone out and start to record, they're over.
Hello everyone.
Hey baby.
I got my own camera. Don't kiss me.
Here's one of the little rascals here. Daddy's just recording a video. Can you talk to you soon?
Sure.
Thanks, baby. You see what I mean? They're being absolutely amazing. I don't know what's happened to these kids, or who they got replaced with, they're being incredibly good, really good, amazing. So a big learning point for me that I wasn't going to say in this video, I originally was going to say that you need to plan sufficient downtime, which is important because you have to have downtime. You can't always be on the go. You have to give them space to allow them to do things that aren't time dependent. So you're not always putting pressure on them to do things quickly in the time space an adult needs them to be done. Activities, eating, getting in and out of the house. And the whole point of that is not to let them get to the point and stop them from being pressured by time constraints and melting down where you don't want them to melt down. But the other thing I learned was that the less you put those expectations and that time dependency on them, the less stress you have overall. This camera thing it's crazy. They were just asleep. What's wrong? What's wrong?
Why are you recording this?
Because I want to know why Ella's upset.
Then why are you recording it?
What's wrong, Ella?
You don't want to them. Ow.
What's wrong, Ella? So we're checking out this morning and I wanted to record my final experiment tip. It's been a crazy couple of days because here's the thing, the kids haven't been going nuts as I expected. Because I've been wanting to catch the rough behind the scenes stuff, I've had my camera at the ready at all times. The problem is, they were behaving really, really well. But the difference was, because I was trying to catch them doing the wrong thing on camera, I was allowing them to play the whole scenario out. So I wasn't intervening. And the whole stressful situation seemed to be when I'm trying to intervene. Jet's being a little copycat right now. So I'm gonna keep my last tip really short and simple, and it's something that I've learned while we've been on holiday here. Kids aren't displaying bad behavior for the sake of being bad. I really think that kids are displaying the bad behavior because they feel as if they have a need that is not being met, and they just don't understand how to express it yet. Because the whole funny thing about this whole catching the behind the scenes trip has been me setting high expectations of how the kids should behave in public, and then me stressing out when they're not meeting those expectations. I mean, check this guy right here behind me. Usually I try and find a quiet place to go and record away from the kids. This guy wanted to eat breakfast with me this morning. He is not interrupting whatsoever. And this is what I'm talking about. The funny thing about this whole experiment was it turned out that I'm more of the problem with my expectations and how I deal with their responses. So to make my third tip really clear, I really think it relates back to my first tip number 1 about perceived bad behavior. We perceive their bad behavior based on our expectation levels. They're not bad for the sake of being bad. Yeah. This holiday has been night and day difference, and it's really shocked the crap out of me. Hey guys, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button to tell YouTube to share this video with other people who might find the information interesting. And if you want to stay up to date with my videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon, and it'll give you a little reminder every time I upload new content.